the treadmill and they're going nowhere.
In the words of the great John Kennedy, Mike, don't think, do something. Great to see the SCG bubbling. It was great to see exciting footy, and not one person turned off the match, Hawks versus the Swans. Incredible start, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. Just on the way through, this proves yet again that all the Swans games should be played at the SCG.
Oh, I mean, the atmosphere is fantastic. I mean, I'll always stick out for the other venue because we've had some great games there as well. So, but certainly the SCG, anyone that goes there, it's an exciting place to watch football.
You're the world's best coach. You're the world's best coach on this panel. The Swans outstanding early and get 6 goals, 38 points up against the flag favourites. What happened then? I mean, I'm a bit like John Longmire and the Swans coaching block. I've got no idea what happened.
Well, this is the first quarter. Look at the pressure, and the pressure of the Swans was absolutely relentless.
Fantastic.
It was unbelievable. The Hawks had absolutely no time and space. The tacklers were coming from everywhere. It's interesting. I think even Clarko said after the game that they were gone. I mean, they just didn't have any answers. And you see a goal there from... But as quickly... It just changed so quickly. And you look at the time on the top left-hand, 13:33 to 20. I remember Jason Dunstan and I were doing it, and we looked at each other with about... No, it's 6 points the difference at one stage. And we looked at each other, we couldn't work out. And you look how 50 to 32, but the inside 50s were 14 to 4. And I think that's clearly what makes Hawthorn such a dangerous football team, because they're hard, they're tough, they've got good outside, they've got excitement in Buddy Franklin. I thought Sean Burgoyne was fantastic, but I thought the strength of Hawthorn are their clearances. They went into the game plus 163 points. And it really was their last 2 centre clearances. And if you look at them here, there's Burgoyne there. Now, this is when they're behind, so Burgoyne and Hodge, they're just so dangerous. You just can't leave them. There's Kieran Jack, great tackle. Lukey Parker's on Hodge. There's Hodge. They've just got to... They keep it alive. They've got a nose for the ball. Look at the top of the screen. You can see Burgoyne running in the forward 50. And there he goes there. They're just so dangerous because they've got so many good players. And here's the last one. There's Sewell. It's not the Swans did a lot wrong. It's just, here it is, Mitchell. Smart little tap out the Sewell, picks it up. There's no support off the back because of the fact that Hawthorn, there's 2 centre clearance goals. So their strengths are so good, Mike, that at the end of the day, that's why they won. They're plus 163. And they've just got so many good players, and they're so dangerous.
That being the case, everybody has now continued to elevate Hawthorn. But on the back of that, I would have thought the Swans' chances were magnified as well.
Well, they did blitz them, didn't they? There's no doubt about that.
And they were headed, and then they fought back. And as you just showed, 2 clearances later, they did the 4 points.
I didn't think the Swans lost any fans at all. I just thought the fact that they were going toe-to-toe with the premiership favourites, and it was only a couple of great efforts from some Hawks blokes. Ryan O'Keefe kicked a super goal to put them in front, and they just kept on backwards and forwards. It was an exceptional game of football.
Hawks made a major investment in Sean Burgoyne, and I think on the weekend we saw him come back to his very best on the midfield role. He's been playing across the half-back, and it reminded me, Michael, of an article you wrote comparing him to the great Chris Judd, saying as a clearance player he was right on his shoulder.
That was 2007, Gerard, and I thought that if there was a threat to Juddy as the elite player in the competition, it was Burgoyne. But he's been good at Hawthorn, and I mean, they nicknamed him Silky there, but he hasn't been as hard as I would have liked. He wasn't as hard as he was at Port Adelaide, but he got that back at the weekend. I mean, he did 2 or 3 things that were really strong and brave. His finishing was perfect. He looked much more comfortable in the midfield.
Yeah, he was the one that really got them going. His hardness, which he hasn't been... I don't think he's ever been a soft player, but he just hasn't been known for his hardness. But on the weekend, he did some really hard, tough things and got them back in the game. And who would you rather have the ball with 2 minutes to go? I mean, such a beautiful kick.
Hawks would be a difficult side to beat given the clearance numbers at the SCG. But Sean Burgoyne was also involved in an umpiring decision that got up your goats, you 2 wise men of the couch. Let's have a look at Sean Burgoyne and the umpire's decision.
Holding! Holding! No, Chris, try, Sean! No. I don't think he heard the whistle, no. Okay, common sense. No, it's okay. I don't think he heard the whistle, okay?
Well, I love that because the Swans fans have been criticised over the years as not knowing footy, but that actually proves, Mike, that they know a little bit about it, because that was one of the all-time worst decisions.
It was. I mean, how can the umpire... No, he didn't hear the whistle.
But you know, the thing is, if that happened every week, no one would have a problem with it, because that's sort of almost a common sense approach. But I've not seen that in any other game this year, and that's the biggest problem with that decision. common sense decision. Clearly, Burgoyne didn't hear the whistle, but it hasn't happened at all in the last 22 rounds.
How was that on the bad scale? How did that measure up with the Puopolo decision?
Well, I think the Puopolo one is just... I was led to believe that 360 degrees, you've got plenty of time. So he's been spun around 360 degrees here. He hasn't got rid of the ball. So surely the holding the ball free kick goes before the slight contact around the neck. And I think Johnny
Longmire's got that view.
Clearly agree.
All right, the siren's up. What's your decision? That's it for this week. We're going to take
there's one more, Gerard.
There's a shocker coming up later in the program.